Everyone in the school auditorium knew why those two were called up. Tyler and Mia were the quiet siblings. Tyler, a tall, lanky 15-year-old who rarely spoke above a whisper. Mia, his 12-year-old sister, with oversized glasses and a shy smile that never seemed to last longer than a second. They weren't popular, weren't athletic, and weren't ever the ones raising their hands in class. So when the teacher jokingly said during the school talent show, "How about Tyler and me give us a song?" Most of the crowd snickered. A group of boys in the back elbowed each other, already preparing for the embarrassment they were about to witness. Even Tyler froze, his eyes darting toward the floor. Mia tugged at his sleeve, terrified. Everyone expected them to stumble, stutter, and retreat back down the steps humiliated. But then something happened. Tyler took a breath, gave Mia a tiny nod, and together they walked to the microphone. The giggles still rippled through the audience until the first note left their lips. Their voices weren't just good, they were breathtaking. Mia's soft, angelic tone wove seamlessly with Tyler's deep, steady harmony. What began as nervous trembling grew into something strong, raw, and achingly beautiful. The sound filled the room in a way no one expected. A brother and sister blending their pain, their hope, and their story into music. And suddenly, the auditorium was silent. Not a laugh, not a whisper, just wide eyes and open mouths. Among the audience sat someone who had almost skipped the show that night, Daniel, Tyler and Mia's father. Daniel was a single dad, carrying the weight of 2 jobs and a house that always seemed too quiet. He hadn't smiled in months, not since his wife and their mother had passed away after a long illness. Losing her had shattered him, leaving pieces of himself he wasn't sure could ever fit back together. And though he loved his children fiercely, grief had built a wall between them. Most days, Daniel just tried to get through work, pay the bills, and keep food on the table. He thought he knew his children. He thought he had seen their talents, their struggles. But hearing them sing on that stage was like hearing their hearts speak for the very first time. The song they chose wasn't random. It was one their mother used to hum when folding laundry, when driving them to school, when tucking them in at night. It was a piece of her, a piece Daniel thought was gone forever. As their voices rose, Daniel's eyes blurred with tears. For the first time in years, he didn't feel alone in his grief. He saw his wife in them, her courage, her tenderness, her music living on through their voices. When the last note fell into silence, no one clapped at first. They were too stunned. Then the room erupted into applause, cheers, even standing ovations. But for Tyler and Mia, none of it mattered. All they could see was their father, standing in the crowd, tears streaming down his face as he whispered, "That was your mom's song." After the show, Daniel pulled them both into his arms. It wasn't just a hug, it was a breaking and a healing all at once. For so long, they had each been carrying their grief separately, afraid to burden one another. But in that moment, the music had pulled them back together. The days that followed weren't perfect. There were still bills, still lonely evenings, still moments when the ache of loss returned like an old wound. But something had changed. Daniel no longer carried the silence in the house like a weight. Now, every evening after dinner, he asked Tyler and Mia to sing. Sometimes they sang their mother's favorite songs. Other times, they made up melodies of their own. Their voices filled the home that once felt empty, turning sorrow into connection, turning grief into healing. And slowly, the broken pieces of Daniel's heart began to mend. Tyler and Mia had been asked to sing at school as a joke, but instead, they gave a gift no one in that auditorium would ever forget. They reminded everyone, especially their father, that music isn't just sound, it's memory, it's love. It's a bridge between hearts, even ones that feel too shattered to carry on. And sometimes, it only takes a single song to bring a family back together.